How do I get this? Okay, there we go. And I'm just loading up on the laptop here so I can see the chats. December 31st, 2023, last day of the year. Here we go. Timon, how you doing? It says nobody's in here. Okay, now it says someone's in here. Okay, someone was in here for a half a second. Yeah, Happy New Year, Timon. Thanks for being one of the most vigorous woodhounds, I guess you could say. And yeah, how was your Christmas? Merry Christmas, man. Good to see you. Larry's in the house too. How you doing, Larry? I know I started a little late, so some people are going to be going to bed soon. But maybe you're staying up late a little bit because it's the holidays. I'm not even signed in on my laptop. I haven't opened it up in so long. And you know what? I'm not going to sign in um, because then I got to use my phone. And then I got to go through another screen. It actually might go through. It's just when you play with your phone on the live stream, then it might cut the live stream off. So I don't need to sign in. I can just go and I can see the chats. Because when you're using the phone, you just can't see the chats. I mean, it's better when you're indoors, but if you're out in the sun, forget it. The lighting just doesn't work, man. Okay, here I am. All right, we got 5 people in here now. How you doing, guys?
Get
Merry
ready
Christmas.
for Healthy Planet Boxing Week mega deals from December.
I think I have everything set up. I have the phone do not disturb, so I won't get any notifications that will cut the live stream or make any noise. And yeah, it looks like we're good to go here. So we'll take just a minute or two. Little's Lawn Care and Firewood. How you doing? Thanks. Happy New Year. Thanks for stopping in. And it's gonna be fun. Maybe this light's a little bright. Maybe that's why I'm squinting a little bit. It's not too bad for now though. But anyway, yeah. So guys, it's been a really, what's the word? It's been a really patience testing 3 months before this because my channel was demonetized. I'm gonna click the like button for myself here. So it's a bit of a long story. Oh yeah, I can't even like my own video. I'll just like it after, whatever. But anyways, it's been really tough with this channel, doing the editing and all that stuff. I like doing the editing and I put a lot of extra time into it, and it's not worth the money, I guess you could say. And hey, what's going on, Boom Back Bodega? We were just hanging out last night. We went out to do something with the boys and go have a few drinks and stuff. We had some great Filipino food, some like barbecue chicken and rice. Yeah, man, it was a fun night. You know, I was hoping we could hang out and talk some more, but hey, maybe we could plan something else or talk in the chat group. But anyways, so I was with all this work that I'm doing. I'm putting all this extra time in, and it's not really making money. And I like doing it though. That's the thing, right? But anyway, so I got demonetized, and for anybody who doesn't really understand what that means, is like, well, yeah, I'm in the YouTube partnership program, like many of the Woodhounds, and we're getting paid for our videos. And I got into a situation where I got demonetized. So, yeah, Larry's asking why I get demonetized. Well, okay, so this channel, as some of you guys know, I put some World War II history to documentaries. Just up with something for my collection, and it's all documentaries that were on TV and whatnot, right? So that means they're supposed to be copyrighted, and I wouldn't get paid for them. So first, I picked one from a World War II series called "The World at War," and it was made from 1971 to 1974, and it's like probably the best World War II series that I have because it has a lot of interviews with people who were in the close circle of Hitler in the last days of the war, right? And some through, not just the last days, but throughout. But it had really intimate people like Hitler's secretary, Hitler's driver, Hans Linge. The secretary's name was Traudl Junge. There was also Albert Speer, who was the architect, and he basically helped Hitler design a lot of things that were built, like the flat towers, which were massive concrete buildings. And they had three of them. And there was in Berlin, there were some in other cities too, but just these monstrous towers that even they had trouble blowing up after the war. And yeah, it's these great interviews, and it was, it's not too far after the war, like 25 years, a little more than that. I mean, that's still some time, but, a lot of people were alive, and there was a lot better recollection of what happened back then. But I tried to take one of those documentaries out of that series. It's 36 parts, I believe, something like that. And I tried to upload it, and YouTube wouldn't even let me upload. So I took that down. Very interesting story about the story of Stalingrad. Why am I cutting out? I see it's blurry on my laptop here, but it shouldn't be. I'm on my phone. The laptop would cause a problem, but my phone should be okay. But maybe it's because I'm on Wi-Fi. Now it's a little better, I guess. But anyway. So I couldn't upload that documentary. It wouldn't even let me put it on. Sometimes you can upload it and it's just there, and you don't get paid for it. YouTube won't. They'll see that it's copyright, and they'll allot the income to the other whoever is the original person who posted that. Went through my collection, and I put in a documentary about a B-29 bomber that crashed in Greenland, North Canada, like in the Arctic, in 1947. So it was after the war, and what happened was some aircraft and former pilots, one former pilot mainly decided to put together a team and go to Greenland and to revive the plane. And okay, they're cutting out nothing. Okay, guys. Yeah, so they went out there to basically fix a plane that was running, and they brought brand new engines, new propellers and everything, because the propellers were damaged. And they fixed up the plane out there. And I don't want to give away the story that happened in the documentary, but it's a crazy video. I had to take it down, otherwise I just referred to it or tell you guys that it's just in my channel, right? But I had to pull it down. I'll get it more into that after. But anyway, so I put the video up, and it's from PBS Nova, so technically that means it's copyright and I shouldn't have got the money, right? So they didn't recognize that. So me, as a creator, I'm like, okay, nice. I'm going to maybe get some good views on it, and I could make some money on it. So I released it a year ago, September, and then after a year, all of a sudden it started going viral. I had the video start taking off here and there and get a bunch of views, hundreds of views here or there, right, over a couple days period, stuff like that. But then all of a sudden it went to like 100 to 150,000 views every day. So that was kind of like the peak for like a couple days, like 2, 3, 4 days. And then the views went down, but they were still like way up. So I was just getting literally like tens of thousands of views every day for days. And with that brought a lot of attention and a lot of comments and stuff. It was hard keeping up with the comments, but it was cool because I was seeing my subscribers go up. I was seeing, all these big numbers with my views and everything, and then even the income started to show, right? And it was a lot of money. And James Bainton, how you doing? Man, I've got to stop losing the chat here. We've got to get that 37D to visit your top 10 most popular vid. Yeah, that's actually, it still gets views, that one. James Bainton brought his 37D Easton made Woodyard and made some videos, and we're supposed to do it this year, but I didn't have the right kind of wood for him. I started putting aside some, and I had a lot of boiler wood this year, and I had a lot of craggy wood, and those machines, they make a lot of chafe too, right? So I hate doing the cleanup and everything, but I just really didn't get stuff that was good and to begin with anyway. And some stuff I did split that I didn't have to split, but I was trying to save big diameter, and I didn't get a lot of big diameter stuff this year as well, right? It just wasn't a good year for saving up anything for James, right? 7 right now. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all, man. So anyway, back to this video. Um, yeah, so, it's getting tens of thousands of views every day and lots of comments. Then I noticed a couple people complained about me uploading videos, and what people don't know is that you can upload copyright. YouTube's gonna basically see that it's copyright in 99% of cases or whatever the percentage is, and they're just gonna pay the original poster, right? And it's gonna be registered or whatever. And even if you upload it, it's copyrighted. You can get the views, but just not the money, right? So YouTube actually, this is something I learned in this whole process here, that YouTube is not necessarily telling you to make your own content. I mean, us in the Firewood world, we're making our own content because we have our own content, but you notice there's a lot of like reaction videos and stuff like that. There's a lot of copyright stuff that people are taking, doing clips and voiceover and all those things. So they in the rules that I got more clear on after this video being monetized, I realized that you basically are saying you got to take what's copyright, or you can take what's copyright, and you can add value to it. You're adding commentary, you're adding all kinds of different things to it and whatnot, but you're just going beyond the basic premise. So you can't just take somebody's copyright stuff and load it just like that, right? So anyways, yeah, so 2 people basically ratted me out, and they came from the mind state that, oh, this is people just know this documentary. One guy even said I close to them or affiliated them or really supports them or whatever. So I'm reporting you to YouTube for uploading this content, and they don't know how it goes. You're allowed to upload it, and YouTube has a number that their video actually have that attached to it, that you can't even put it on your channel. So basically what happened a few days after that, one morning I looked at my phone and I got the message in my YouTube studio that my channel has been demonetized. So basically they didn't just tell me to take down that video and that video was the actual problem. They just tell you that it's or you're going against the rules. Basically, it's like a general thing, right? So I had to kind of assume that it's because of that one video. I mean, the timing was impeccable, so it was like, okay, well, I have to take the video down. But what I did was, and they said I couldn't reapply for monetization until 3 months later. So that was December or September 16th I got the message, and not till December 14th that I could the remonetization. So I just let my videos keep getting the views. There's a couple other ones that I have on the channel, or that I had up on the channel, that I also decided to pull down. Now you could set the video to private so that it's in my YouTube, but the public can't see it. And I said I'm not even going to take that risk to leave it posted in my own private YouTube studio or my private collection, right? So yeah, I just have to pull it right down. So I let those videos get views. There's one that's it's got a lot of esoteric knowledge. Hi Colleen, how you doing? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Anybody else pop in here? Goats, Firewood, and Farms, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. So the other one I uploaded was an esoteric video talking about ancient trees and how they used to be extremely massive, and that the mountains that we have today, this is going to get crazy, guys. Maybe you believe it, maybe you don't, but there's this great information in this video where it's saying like the mountains are actually like the base of tree trunks, and there was giant trees back in the days. Think about the fable of Jack and the Beanstalk. But anyways, in Wyoming you have Devil's Tower there, and I can't remember what's the height of it. Is it like 300 plus feet or something? But it looks like a tree stump. There's a lot of these rock formations around the world that are like mountains, but they look like tree trunks, right? And then in this book of Enoch, there's a story of where the giant tree, or the giant trees were cut down by the giants, right? So I put that up just to put some information out there, not really to promote any theories or anything like that. I see Tim Stout's in the house. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Noel's Garden Tractors and Firewood out at Prince Edward Island on the coast of Canada is in the house. The other video I put was a Canadian classic about the log drivers. You know, the guys who they run the timber down the rivers and they do the log rolling and everything. And what they do is they start with original footage and then they fade into a cartoon and it has like this nice folk song called the Log Driver's Waltz. And this guy's dancing around and prancing around on the logs and going down the river. And then there's a woman who's looking for a husband, and then they get married, and they're actually getting married while they're rolling on the logs, and it has the priest and everything, right? But it's like a Canadian classic, like heritage cartoon short film, you know? So I had those 3 videos up, and basically before I remonetized, the day before I reapplied for monetization, I took those videos down, right? And they were getting some good views too. It was kind of helping the channel grow, but they're all gone now. So who knows? Maybe I'll put them up later. The B29 one, that was a tricky one because that's the one that caused me the problems, you know. But what's not good about this situation, that 3 months was basically, wasn't making money, guys. So they didn't just tell me to delete the video that they had a problem with. They said, no, you're not making any money off your videos. And, you know, as I said before, there's not much money in this to begin with because I'm a small channel. And I don't get a lot of views. And I don't have this big operation. I think people like seeing all these big sites and big production and, you know, doing all these versatile things. You know, and I've been wanting to do some more versatile things too. There's a couple wood yards where they have like a couple processors. It's like big business. It's a bit out of town, like about maybe less than an hour's drive. I like to go at least one of them. I actually sold wood to them before, but yeah, I've been trying to do, I've been thinking about doing different things, but I've been concentrating on my other work. And that's right, Little's Lawn Care and Firewood. Yeah, you're from Ontario. Where are you from again? I forgot. Are you up in the Kawarthas? Yeah, I can't remember. There's a few people that are from in and around Ontario. It's always hard trying to keep track of everybody. But, yeah, so Colleen says, now I've got the Log Driver's Waltz song in my head. Yep, if you know, you know, guys. You know, that thing just pops in your head and it permeates, you know. And you can never lose memory of it, right? But, oh, you're in Caledon. That's right. Okay, Caledon. So Caledon's like basically northwest of Toronto. And from where I'm at, I'm in the east end Toronto, not the far east, but I'm in the east side. And that's about less than an hour's drive, depending on where you are. If you're going further northwest into Caledon, that's like, you know, maybe an hour and change, right? But yeah, so going back to editing the videos and putting the videos out. So basically I wasn't making any money off all the videos that I had to do, and in the fall that's when it gets busy on YouTube. And oh yeah, I forgot I was about doing other things to try and grow the channel, make the channel interesting, whatever. Yeah, I'm a small channel and whatnot, but yeah, anyways, I've been drumming up some ideas to do, but I've had to put them off because of the demonetization, and I've been doing my other work too. I've been trying to do a lot of firewood at the same time because I have my smokehouse customer that I got to keep up with, and I've been doing really good with keeping up on top of that, and making even extra space in Smoker City so that I could, like, I basically processed a lot more wood, and some stuff has been, I have excess bags for the customer. I have a whole crate of wood with all the chunks cut up. And I switched a couple of different crates because I have a smaller one for oak. I have a bigger one for maple. Well, it was switched around, but now we switched them because I need more maple. So I put the maple in the big crate and the oak in the smaller one. So I have those 2 crates are full. Then I have another crate of everything cut slim. Well, first I actually split them into sections and broke down rounds like this. I broke them into like 1/3, and I stacked them aside first on the ground, and then later on, after I emptied out the crate that had the maple, I went and I cut those into, I guess, triangles or whatever, so that they're ready to split, and each piece would be about maybe 2, 3, 4 pieces, and that broke them up a lot more so that they could dry quicker. And then the other day I went in and I went at it twice, and I split that whole thing, and I filled a whole crate of wood chips. And then I had another set of wood side too, so I got a lot of maple sitting there, and I'm really up on the smoker wood. And so I've done some videos. I am behind. I'm about 2 months behind in editing. Catch up. I think I'm going to release another video for tomorrow, but at the same time, this is going to pop up for everybody tomorrow, right? So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. The video's almost finished, but hoping to catch up and do some more editing in the next couple weeks. It's going to be slow at work, so I'm going to do it. But anyway, so going back to the monetization, yeah, it does suck, Colleen. Yeah, so basically, James says lots of maple. Yeah, there's tons of maple, but not as much sugar maple as I'd like. You know what I mean? There's lots of Norway maple. There's lots of Manitoba maple, what you guys in the U.S. know as box elder. And there's lots of silver maple here too. There's very little red maple. And there's the odd sycamore maple around. If you guys don't know sycamore, its bark looks blotchy, like camouflage, like, you know, when you have 2, 3 different colors. That's what sycamore maple looks like. And it's actually one wood is decent, whereas the silver maple, red maple, box elder, it's not good for firewood, right? There's the odd striped maple, but they don't grow into any type of firewood diameter size that I've seen anyway. I've only seen them once. Then there is black maple, and there's very little of those. And I actually noticed, I got a nice picture. I'm going to post that picture about at my parents' house. They had, ash tree was removed. The tree that grew up in my front yard, that thing got killed by dogs. So the townhouse complex, they came and removed all the dead ash trees, and then they At first, I thought the tree that they planted in front of my parents' house was a silver maple. Then I got up close one day and I realized it's a black maple. But they really have like a starfish pattern with the leaves, and it looked pretty crazy with the fall colors. They had like, it was like purple, brown, orange. It was really nice. I got a picture of that, so I'm gonna post it in one of my videos. But yeah, so let me see the chat. So, okay, Uncle B's in here. I just messaged Uncle B to check in. Uncle B says you have dial-up there. No, you know what it is? I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm actually on my. I'm gonna switch here. Let's see how that does. Yeah, I'm actually using my neighbor's Wi-Fi, so I stuck it to the man. I got rid of my internet. I'm just using Wi-Fi. So I shut off the Wi-Fi, and it should be okay now. Noel says it's been warm. Colleen, I'm thinking December might be the warmest on record. Wow, 13 degrees Celsius for a few days. We had it's like 8 Celsius. So that in Fahrenheit, I mean, we're pushing like around, I'd say about 40 Fahrenheit, something like that. And I'm sure, like, you know, in the U.S. it's been warmer than here in Toronto, right? That's maybe about the same temperature as Noel out in East Coast Canada. But yeah, and then this week it rained like almost the whole week. So the weather's been pretty good in a sense. I mean, I didn't really have to work outside, and I was in a mind state just to get stuff done. And I don't like working in the rain, but there's a lot of stuff that I had to do this week, and I wanted to get done. So the rain didn't really bother me, and I avoided the big rains and stuff having to be out when it's really raining. But, you know, if it's just kind of, you know, dripping a little bit here and there, or I'd say more than dripping, I was out there doing what I had to do and getting things done. But I didn't really have to be outside just getting soaked out there, you know. Watching the commercials to help you out and get back on track. Thanks, man. Yeah, I had to go through some of my videos and adjust where they put the commercials in there. Because YouTube, they'll just assume wherever you want to put the commercials, and sometimes they put too much or they jumble them up all together, and then it's really annoying for the viewer, right? I don't put very many commercials in my videos. So if I do a 15-minute video, I might put 3 commercials in between. You'll have commercials at the end and at the beginning. But yeah, they I had to go through, I don't know, maybe 15 videos and readjust the where they put the commercials in. When I got so reapplying for the partnership program took a couple days. I got accepted back into the partnership program. Now here's the question, guys. I want to see if I still get paid for all that money that I made in those with that one video, because the total came up to, in about 10 days, it was $3,700 until I got demonetized. So in US money, that'd probably be about maybe $2,900, something like that, maybe 30 or 3,000 at the most. But yeah, so when I actually reapplied, I reapplied a couple days after, and within that, the day before I reapplied, it would have transferred my money over to the AdSense. So basically, YouTube doesn't pay you. The partnership program means they're joined with another company called AdSense, and AdSense like basically works the advertising, and YouTube will transfer the money from you, or from YouTube and your channel. They'll transfer it over to AdSense so that AdSense can go and put it in your bank account, right? So I have to see the last straw. Basically, if I can see if I can get that money, is January 15th. I'll see it pop up in my AdSense, and then it'll go a few days till like basically the 21st to the 27th is the time that you get paid. And basically they pay you, like, say you made this money in 1 month, they're gonna pay you, the next month on the 15th, you'll see in AdSense that the money's there, and then 6 days after that, the 21st and on, they're gonna pay you, right? So you basically get paid towards the end of the month for the month before. So yeah, Daniel Atkins is in the house. Thanks for stopping in, man. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Same to everybody else out there. Merry Christmas, guys. I hope you had a good Christmas. And yeah, so with yeah, so basically it's the last straw to see if I get that money. So I'll see what happens on January 15th and hope I do. And yeah, I gotta do some truck repair and stuff. You know, I've been doing a bunch of truck repair lately. Well, not a bunch, but a little bit. But my Tahoe, it's smelling like gas. And so basically what happened was I saw there was another Tahoe at my mechanic's there, and he was getting his gas tank done with the fuel sender. So I saw the truck in there, and I went to the mechanics. I said, you know what that means? It's going to be time for my truck to do that, because I was already smelling gas, right? So I took it in to get done, and cost me $400 for the part. It cost me $330 in labor. And so that would translate to, in US, like about, I don't know, $550, $600. Didn't solve the problem. I still got the fuel smell. So then it's coming close to the Christmas vacation, and the mechanic didn't have anybody else to check out the problem, and I thought we're gonna have to drop the tank again, right? Well, it'd be a lot easier when they just did it, because you know, they had done the other truck before too, the one that was in before me, and now everything's fresh. They didn't have to cut any bolts out or nothing like that, you know. So I thought I was gonna have to do that, and then so I was driving around for scrap, and there's a mechanic shop where they work on a lot of vehicles for the school board, and they do a lot of like Chevy trucks and stuff. And there used to be one guy who was in that mechanic shop, and he was that Jimbo who knew like everything about GM trucks, you know, across the board. Even before he worked at that place, he just knew, you know. So he's gone. He moved out to Newfoundland, and a lot of people in Canada, they're moving out, you know, kind of back home if they're from out there, you know, and out in the country and far away. A lot of people come from the East Coast and live here, and a lot of people are just moving out because it's so expensive here. So that guy was gone, and he's kind of an asset with me asking certain questions like this, you know. I stopped taking my vehicles to that shop because they were trying to pull scams and stuff like that, and you know, I heard all about these things. I might have gotten scammed a little bit too myself, but I can't really say much. But I stopped going to them for vehicle work, but they always have a bucket of scrap for me there, right? It's right, like, just down the street from where I live, you know? So it's basically, yeah, the first traffic lights. I come down my street and they're right across the street, you know? But there's a new guy in there. He's been there almost a year now. So I walked in there and I said, yeah, what's going on with my truck? I just changed my fuel sender and I'm still smelling gas. The guy knew right away what happened. He said, it's because you're filling your gas tank too much and the gas is going into the carbon, or sorry, the charcoal canisters, right? So he says you got to take the thing out, you got to open it up, and you got to dry it out with a hair dryer. So I said, oh, that's what it is. So I went back to my mechanic to talk to him about it, just to see if maybe he felt like just taking the thing out and checking it out. But he didn't want to do it because he didn't have the two employees with him. It's just himself, and he was working on his wife's car. But he originally said he wanted to do like all the work after the gas tank situation. He said, no, we'll check out your gas smell after the holidays, right? So come Tuesday, I'm just going to take it and say, okay, it's time. We've got the employees in here. Let's do this, right? So I forgot what I was saying about the vehicle. Was I making another point about it? But anyways, doesn't matter. Going back to the remonetization, but what I was saying was that it's unfortunate that I was demonetized at this time, because in the fall, that's when you get a lot of views. That's when a lot of people start looking into harvesting firewood, and they're looking up the tips and the tricks, and those videos I'm always getting views on, right? As opposed to just generally splitting in the wood yard on any given day. Those videos, they don't get viewed all the time unless it's a really good one for whatever reason, but it's the tutorials that keep getting views. Stash Pontoon is in the house. That's Stan the Bassman, guys. He comes up to the lake fishing with me, and I didn't release this year's videos. Like I said, I've been busy doing my other work, and there's a lot of work to edit the fishing trip videos, because I get a lot of footage. I think I had like 2 hours and 2 hours and 30 minutes on the first video, and then like an hour and a half on the other video. But I didn't even release both videos. But I also was deterred from watching or from doing both videos because I didn't really catch any fish. I think I got one good fish in each video, in each trip, right? And so I'm gonna try and release those over the summer, but over the winter. But yeah, Stan or Stash, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, man. How's things up there? I guess there's not much ice, is there? That's a good question. There's probably none, man. So he lives at the lake where I go to. He's like a kilometer from the boat launch, and I would say, because it's northeast, but if he was north of me, I would say that's like an hour and a half, the equivalent, the same latitude, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, and so he's basically about halfway towards Ottawa, but north of that route from Toronto to Ottawa, and that's the lake where I go fishing. But yeah, how's the ice, man? That'd be nice to know. There's probably little, if any, ice out there. Daniel says 1,700 to have the seat rebuilt in his truck. If all goes well, that should last another 10, 15 years. Yeah, my Tahoe, actually, the seat's a little bit ripped, but it's not bad. But the wood hauler, the seat, like, it's just gone, man. It's all chewed up, like all the fabric's gone on the left side, and you can see all the sponge. I actually heard about somebody getting stopped by the MTO, and that's like our commercial vehicle enforcement here. I heard that one guy's his seat cushion was torn, and the guy had to get a new seat so that he could get his truck back on the road again, right? I think he had other problems going along with it too, but they're like, no, you got to change the seat. But then I spoke to another, it might not have been MTO who I spoke to, because some of the police services, we have like York region, which is like a number of small cities just north of Toronto. That's like a whole region that covers those cities. York Region Police, I got stopped by them one time. I was telling them that somebody got their truck, they pulled the plates on them or whatever, told them that they had to repair their seat before they could get legit again, right? And he kind of said no, that we wouldn't do that, right? But apparently some of these MTO guys are like Nazis, man. So Yeah, anyways, shoot, what was I saying about the trucks? Anyways, Stan says not having any ice yet, maybe by the end of January. Yeah, so he goes ice fishing there too. And don't you get crappies there? Um, yeah, because I remember seeing an episode on TV at our lake, and there's guys catching crappies through the ice there, man. I couldn't believe it because I've never caught any crappies there, you know? But they did an episode on it, so I guess they're in there, man. Um, yeah, it won't be a while till I get back there. Not till the middle of June at the earliest. So yeah, I get the 2 trips there. I spend, if I'm lucky, I spend 10 days up at the lake for the whole year between the 2 trips, and that's it, man. You know. Anyways, yeah, going back to the videos. So yeah, it sucked not to make that money at that time, but let's see if I do get the money coming in. Um, that'd be really nice, man. Especially some nice winter money, you know. I have a 40-yard bin of boiler wood that I'm trying to get sold, and nobody's hitting on my ads. I have the customer who bought my last 2 boiler loads, and he might not want the wood. So that's the thing, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this load of boiler wood. I can't burn that much wood. I gotta do maybe, I'd say maybe 2 face cords, maybe 2.5 at most, and then the bin's gonna be full. So it'd be nice to get that bin finished, but then I need wood to come in because I don't really have any boiler wood. I've been like breaking down like basically like everything that I could in the wood yard and doing everything that I could. And just trying to get ahead of the winter weather, which I thought was going to come in, but the winter weather is not here, you know? So I haven't really done anything this week, but yeah, I probably have maybe a face cord of wood that has to split in the wood yard. That's it. And it's just some Norway maple and some sugar maple. And I just got a few rounds of cherry the other day, and it's actually black cherry. It's not that other ornamental cherry that we get all the time in the city here, right? It's actually black cherry. But yeah, I gotta noodle some of it because I like keeping the noodles. I bring it home, and if I want to make it smell nice in here, I just burn the noodles with some birch bark, and it smells really nice, you know. But yeah, so now that it's winter, not gonna get much wood, so it's gonna take me a little bit to finish off that boiler load, and I like to still be trying to catch up on next season's wood and get as much as I can split before the winter's done, so it's got a lot of time to dry, you know. And even though a lot of the wood doesn't get a full year to season, I find my wood season's pretty good. Even if it's in the IBC totes and it's all stacked nice in there, and then even if the wood's not dry, what I'll do is I'll sell what is dry, then I'll take out the stuff that isn't dry, and I'll just put it aside. And I'll give it like another couple of months, and then when people call me in like the end of December, January, whatever, then that wood's gonna be ready, you know. Let's go back through the chats here. I see Joe Pa is here. Joe from PA. When you fill your gas tank, stop when the gas pump stops the first time. Yeah, that's the problem, guys. Like I said, filling up the truck too much, trying to get every penny out of my gasoline, and that's been causing my problem. So, yeah, you get fluid gas in the what system? The evap system. I think that's what you mean to say. Um, let's see. Okay, I didn't miss too much here. Yeah, Joe PA says, I'm glad it's warmer here this year because I went into this winter with not enough wood to last the whole winter. That's always a problem, keeping up on the wood, guys. Always a problem, man. Last year, wasn't it? It was warm, yeah, it was the first little bit, but I do remember it was cold on Christmas time because my block heater wasn't plugged in on the block, and I was plugging it in. I was wondering why the truck won't start, right? And I had done my Christmas shopping just before Christmas. I had, a couple bucks extra on me, whatever, and actually not even really. I didn't have much left, but you don't spend on Boxing Day and Christmas Day, right? So, but I still wanted to just get some few bucks in my pocket. It was hard going into last winter because I had done other truck repair and everything, and it was slow going into winter, and it just wasn't a good year for me, you know what I mean? But yeah, I guess earlier in the year it was good, but then yeah, right around Christmas it just slowed down, man. So I had my money to buy my boots, which I always do on Boxing Day every year. You guys even have Boxing Day in the US? I can't remember, man. Boxing Day sales, which they made Boxing Week sales. Now they've extended the Boxing Week sales to Thursday because, oh, that reminds me, I gotta buy a new camera, guys. I'll tell you about that story in a second. But anyways, I had a load of scrap in my truck right before like Christmas or the last day, like when I could go to the scrap yard. And how was it last year? Was that a Saturday I was trying to go? I think that's how it was. And the scrap yard closes by like 11:30. But I didn't get to make it in and take in that load of scrap and get those few bucks. And it was like minus 10 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what temperature that is in Fahrenheit. Because once you go below zero here, like 0 Fahrenheit, which is 32 degrees, or sorry, 0 degrees Celsius, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, I have a hard time converting when we're in the negatives here, right? Anybody got a formula for me that I can use? Anyways, um, let's see. Uncle V says I'll buy it. What do you mean, the Tahoe? Yeah, I'll never sell that thing, man. Tim Stout says, did you already talk about demonetized and why you got demonetized? Yeah, I'll just bring it up really quickly. There's some new people in here. Len's keeping busy here. A lot of Canadians here tonight, man. So many Canadians. Wow. We got, what, half a dozen in here or something like that almost. Richard Titcomb is here. How you doing? Living the dream. Living the dream. Where are you again? Are you in Michigan State? Um, Anybody else in here? Yeah, thanks for coming in, guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. About demonetization. So I put a World War II documentary, well, post World War II. It's about a B-29 bomber that crashed in Greenland. It's a PBS Nova documentary, and YouTube didn't screen it as copyright, so I was getting paid for it. Oh, the boiler wood. You want the boiler wood? That'd be nice, man. But to ship to NS, yeah, well, what's that gonna cost you? Like $20,000? Anyway, so I uploaded the video a year ago, September. It went viral this September, up to 150,000 views a day. It brought in a total of 3,600 Canadian, and then a couple people, because with all the comments, oh, Virginia, right? Okay, oh, you moved. Okay, living the dream, moved to Virginia, and or you were in PA, yeah. Okay, yeah, so many people to keep track of, you know what I mean? It's hard when you don't see people's face. You're trying to keep track of everybody, you know, when you're just on the computer, right? But anyways, so with all the attention of the video, guys, I reached a lot of milestones with this video too. I reached 1 million views at first, then I reached 2 million views. I reached 4,000 subs, and I got to 5,000. It just kept going. I got to 6,000, 7,000. Now I'm at 7,515 subscribers, and so basically I doubled my subscribers in like 3 months, something like that, right? It was when I was getting the views, I could actually watch the subscribe count update, and it just kept getting higher and higher. Whereas usually I get 2 to 6 subscribers a day. Maybe if I'm lucky, I get 10, but yeah, man, it was just insane watching all these views coming in, and you know, they're saying all this money coming in, like hundreds of dollars a day, guys. Like, I was like, let's keep this gravy train going, man, you know? And then, so basically, 2 people, they ratted me out about the video, and because they don't know how YouTube works, they don't know that YouTube has a screening process, like as if they wouldn't in these days, you know, like this is the corporate legalism era. So like, why would it just be that you upload video and YouTube doesn't know it's copyright? They just need some random viewer to tell YouTube that it's copyright, you know? So anyways, because these 2 people ratted me out, YouTube decided to demonetize my channel instead of telling me to take the video down. So then they said, okay, you can appeal. I didn't bother to appeal, and I had a short amount of time to do that. because I'm like, it's not my video, guys. You know what I mean? I could try and appeal, but realistically, it's not my video, you know? So I didn't bother to appeal, right? And then they said you have 90 days until you can reapply for monetization. And basically, I was making videos and not earning money off any of my videos just because of that one video, right? So all the good viewership that you get in the fall, um, that's gone for me. So I haven't made money for 3 months on the channel. And also too, the CPMs, or the rate per the CPM or RPM, whatever, it's two different terms that kind of the same themselves, even though they're separate. It's like basically there's a rate that for every 1,000 views, or per mil, or per thousand, that's what per meal means, French word. They'll pay you a certain rate per 1,000 views. That rate has a zillion different things that affect the rate. It could skyrocket, but generally it's going to average like, say, like $5 to $15 for every 1,000 views, right? I'd say closer to like maybe 10 to 12 for me. And that, yeah, that rated, I've seen it shoot up sometimes. I've seen like $300 for certain videos, not for stuff that I'm doing, right? But I've seen up to $300 for like 1,000 views, and that's like amazing, you know? But then it's all over the place. And basically the CPM, it goes down in the winter, I guess, because a lot of people are inside viewing videos. There's a lot more ads being pumped out, and of course, companies going to take advantage of it and say, well, we're not going to pay a lot if everybody's sitting around and watching a lot, you know what I mean? So now going into the new year, I believe that's when the rate drops, because when I got monetized originally back in December of 2021, it's like, okay, I was, you know, getting a certain amount of money every day, and then I noticed in January, then that average per day like dropped a bit, right? And you know, it's small money to begin with, but then you see a bigger drop after. It's like, what gives, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was very frustrating, guys, and I just kind of put it off to the side, and I didn't do some editing for some time, and it's just really frustrating, man, you know, because it's like you're working so hard at this, getting, you know, staying up late at night, editing videos, and you're trying to build something, you're trying to grow something, you know, it's been, you know, over a couple of years going by, then, you know, you get this like, kind of like instant success, and then next thing you know, it's this, everything just disappears, right? Very frustrating, man. Reminds me of like when I was when I started my scrap metal business, and I started my self-employment in March of 2007, and I started getting out there and making $250 a day, which is what, maybe 170 US. And I mean, that's not that great money now, but in 2007, you know, I was, what, 30 years old at the time, and, you know, 250 Canadian, 170 American, that was like good pay, you know, cash at the end of the day to make for anybody starting off their own business, you know what I mean? And basically, like, when I started doing that, my old job had called me, and I said, I'm not coming back in unless you guys can pay me $250 a day. And I started, and that whole year was good, and going up into winter, and still learning a lot, so we struggled, and, you know, we had to work out these bugs to try and like make the operation efficient and everything, and be prepared for winter and whatnot. And then the next year, 2008, it was just booming. China was buying tons of scrap like crazy. They were doing all this building. All the prices were high, and the prices had actually rebounded from, or I shouldn't say rebound, but they shot up from, they shot up at just before I started the self-employment. And a friend of mine was doing scrap since like December of 2006, and the guy told him that it's a good time to get into it. So I just happened to get into it, like a big job. I was getting paid to do a bunch of scrap and all the good stuff, not the scrap steel, but the copper, aluminum, brass, everything. And so I was already making money before I even got self-employed, right? So I was just in this lucky situation where I just got on top of everything, and everything just fell into play. And I bought that nice 4Runner that had no rust on it for cheap. And I bought my diesel pickup that year. And then I moved into the shop that year, my first original wood yard, you could say, right? So I bought 2 trucks, started my own business, and got a place of business all in the same year. You know, this isn't phenomenal. But then in '08 in September when everything crashed, they hit me first because the scrap business had hit that first. Some people are like, oh, I lost my job in February of 2009. I'm like, yeah, I was basically done in like September. It started going down the drain. It wasn't actually September, but it's basically the end of August. The prices of scrap metal started going down through September, going down, down. And like I said, there were record heights. They're going down, down, down. And then when they actually bottomed right out, it's when I had like a booked fishing trip that I had to go on. So I'm going away and spending this money when I've got like no business ahead of me after that, you know, and I'm very responsible with money. And it was like, okay, well, I feel really bad about going on vacation when my business just like the bottom fell out of it, you know what I mean? But I recovered from that. But that's how it was with this whole thing with YouTube, you know, doing all this work and putting all this time in all these videos and going out of town and shooting stuff and running all the camera gear, learning the editing, doing all the editing, all this crazy stuff, and then boom, I just got shot down. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. This, but I'm over it now, actually, guys. I'm over it, man. I'm a soldier. I trot on. I have to deal with a lot all the time. So I'm just back in it, man. I'm happy to. I'm not overly happy to be monetized again. It's not a big thing for me to be monetized, right? But it's like, okay, business as usual now. Let's just keep it going now. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, lots of milestones with the channel, guys. You know, like I said, I'm over 2 million views now. You know, I've had that big subscriber jump where I doubled my subscribers, the watch time hours. Like, I mean, that video that I put up was over an hour, right? So the watch time hours, it's not really important, the number of hours, but it's just statistically, like, it's just a huge jump, you know what I mean? Yeah, Uncle V says, love watching the war videos. Yeah, and now here's another thing. This is how this affected me too, because I made my World War II channel. And I thought, okay, well, going on like how I did before, you upload videos. Either they'll allow you to put it up and, or they won't recognize the copyright. And eventually down the road, once I reach that channel's goals for monetization, then I'm like, okay, well, most of these videos are going to be copyright, and then maybe 10 to 15% aren't. So I'll just be able to make the money on those few videos that, well, it'd be more than a few because I was planning on uploading like all 3,000 of my collection, right? So I thought I'd have a big enough channel and they'd monetize me with some of them, and the videos are long so you can run more commercials in them, and I thought I'd make more money off of them. But then realizing like what the YouTube policies are, which they tell you because you're demonetized, I realized, yeah, they're not just going to let you put up videos that you don't do any work on yourself, you know? So I haven't even uploaded anything. And someone was just telling me yesterday, the Boomback Bodega, who was in here earlier, I was just hanging out with him last night, and he says, oh yeah, I don't see your World War II videos pop up anymore, right? I'm like, yeah, well, I stopped uploading them because I got this snag, you know what I mean? So I was saying, if anybody missed it earlier, if you're going to take copyright stuff, YouTube encourages you to take copyright stuff, but they want you to quote unquote add value to it. So you add commentary, you know, you put this in there, you put that in there, whatever, you analyze stuff in it, you know, you can do all that. And that's why you see a lot of videos, they're doing copyright material in there, but they're putting their presence in the video, right? So YouTube is this, over the years, it's just been tougher to do YouTube, and it's not like back in the day, you know what I mean? Backyard Firewood is in here. How you doing? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Okay, so Len asked if it's just my World War II, or is it just the Firewood channel that got demonetized? Well, the World War II channel, I didn't get monetized because I haven't reached the threshold of subscribers and watch time hours. And YouTube actually allows you to get into the partnership program at instead of 1,000 subscribers, you can get in at 500, and instead of 4,000 watched hours, you can get 3,000 watched hours. But you don't have the full features, right? So they kind of just let you get your foot in the door once you reach that earlier milestone, and then you get the full fledged once you get the 1,000 subs and the 4,000 hours. So I haven't got to any of those milestones. So, but like I said, I've just put that on pause now. I'm not uploading videos because, if I go and apply and most of my videos are copyright, they're gonna say no, you're not fitting the standards that we want to monetize a channel. Right? They want basically YouTube wants original content, even if you're taking the copyright stuff. They want you to make something original out of it, kind of thing, right? So down in the chats, Timon says, "Go Cowboys." I'm not a sports fan, guys. I never really been big on sports. My friends in the neighborhood growing up, they were into the basketball. So yeah, I used to watch basketball a little bit, and that was like the heydays. That was just going off of the end of the Detroit Bad Boys, when they were winning the series, and then the Bulls came in, and San Antonio Spurs. That was my favorite team with the Admiral David Robinson. Yeah, that was my favorite team. I had the baseball hat and stuff like that, but I didn't really buy the jerseys and whatnot. I got remember the Charlotte Hornets, the original purple. Well, I can't say it's original, but from back in the day, but no, they were a new team at that time, I think. Yeah, they had like the purple jerseys. I had like the purple shorts. I still have them actually. If anybody wants me to pull them out, just ask me to pull them out, and I'll show you the Charlotte Hornets basketball shorts, man. Yeah, so I wasn't really into the sports and stuff, man. You know. What's this Len saying? Something almost finished wood barbecue. No, hopefully do steak channel. Guys, I'd like to do a cooking channel, man. I'd be cooking lots of steak and stuff like that. I'd love to do a cooking channel, but I don't cook enough at home to do videos like that. I like to do more like the barbecuing. I don't really have a good setup here. Yeah, because my kitchen is like, my kitchen's okay, but like my stove is from like the 1950s, I swear, guys. You should see that thing, man. It's an old classic, right? So it doesn't look that great. It's a smaller one. It's like the 24-inch or whatever. It's got the 4 burners on it, whatever. But it's just my kitchen layout is not that great. I've improved the lighting in there, and my cupboards and stuff are a little embarrassing. So my friend used to be the the superintendent of this, with his dad, of this building, and he's a good carpenter and everything, but you could see that so much stuff is just slapped together, whatever. My cupboard doors are like, one's longer than the other and all these things, right? And so I don't have the best kitchen for doing this, right? The kitchen looks old and stuff like that, and it's a little tight on my balcony. I can get a camera in there and I can do close-up and stuff like that, but I like a better setting. I was actually thinking of using a friend's place, right? But it's a little encroaching if you want to keep making videos at somebody's place, and you need like their kitchen, you need their barbecue and everything like that, right? I'd rather have my own place to do videos instead of depending on somebody not being there at their own home, like on so many occasions, so you can do video, right? It's got like some kids and everything, so forget that, man. Mr. Night Sky says Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Let me see. Little's Lawn Care says I'm a big fan of RJ's. Well, you know what, guys? I'm not very nice with Toronto teams. I say they always disappoint, and it's true, man. It's like the other night. A few nights ago, I saw that the Leafs won. It was like 5-1 or something. I was at my friend's garage, and the Leafs actually won, and they're usually the worst with their games, and then the games being totally disappointing, But then the other night there was 2 Toronto teams playing, and then, excuse me, they both lost, right? And what was it? Not this year, but the year before, the Leafs were going to the playoffs, and they had like their first set. Don't ask me who they played against, right? But anyways, uh, there was about maybe 30, 35 people in the backyard. They were watching the game, and it was like game seven, I think it was, and like the score was tied, and then the other team they got ahead by one or something, and then everybody's like on the edge of their seat while the last like couple minutes played out, and then of course the Leafs lost, right? So I did a real dick move, and I went, told ya, and then one guy even got upset with me because I made that comment. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Toronto teams is very disappointing, but we did win the 2019 NBA championships, Toronto Raptors, and I missed out on the celebration. I wanted to go down because I'm actually a veteran of the Blue Jays winning the World Series. The Blue Jays won 2 years in a row, and I didn't go downtown '92, but '93 I went downtown. It was just insane, man. There were so many people down there, and it wasn't. I'm trying to remember because I mean, that's so long ago, guys. It's 30 years ago, man. I remember sitting out in front of the Eden Center, which is like the big mall at like our main corner downtown. It's our like relative. It's basically like our Times Square, right? It's not. They have a little square patch, or like across the street from the mall, and then they've built buildings around there. Like it used to look really crappy around there, these old buildings and everything. And then they took them down. They put up these buildings and stuff like that. There's one with like a patio. It's like, I don't know, 7 floors up, so you could eat out on the patio up top there. And then they put up TVs and stuff. They made it more like New York City a little bit, you know, but just not a very big space really, right? It's just got that pad there, where they do like events and stuff like that. But back in the day, they didn't have that area there, right? I can't even remember. I think it was just like an open area, but might have been like a park, not much to it, like not even benches, this and that. I don't even really remember that, so long ago, you know. But yeah, there was a lot of people out that time. But guys, if the Toronto Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup, it's over here. It's we got to call in the army for that one, man. I'm telling you, they really gonna have to call in the army because everybody's gonna be out here. Toronto has like the biggest fan base like in the whole world, I bet you. You know, like when you guys look at soccer in Europe, right? They have like crazy like fandom and stuff like that. But here in Toronto, it's, I wouldn't be surprised if it's more insane than anywhere in Europe, man, because people are crazy about the Leafs here. As soon as they open up the ticket sales for the year, like the first day, all the tickets are gone, man. Just totally gone. You know, everything from front row to nosebleed seats. Just forget it, man. I just don't get it because they're so disappointing, you know. But here in Canada, we're like, this is Canada. We play hockey. We're crazy about it. So that's where that mentality is coming from, you know. What I was saying earlier about my camera, Mr. Night Sky says, "Who is that? That's somebody close to me anyway. I don't know the username to match to who it is, right? You can reveal yourself if you want to or not, but I forgot. I've seen your username before, but as I was saying earlier, all these names here, it's hard to put names to faces and everything, but I can definitely tell that's someone who's, I guess, here in the city and good friend or whatever. Somebody who's not really in stopping by the channel much, but I think I know who it is anyway. I think I'm pretty sure I know who it is. Does it start with a J? Anyways, my camera, my GoPro Hero 10, I've been having audio problems. And that reminds me, I got to talk about another really good video I'm going to be putting out soon, guys. GoPro Hero 10, really good camera, a little finicky in the cold, and we've got a little bit of a design flaw, right? But otherwise, I love the footage on the camera, and the audio is gone funny on it. So sometimes you hear clear talking, then next thing you know, it sounds like the camera's in your pocket. You can hardly hear the talking, right? So I asked about repair. First of all, there's almost nobody who can repair the cameras here anyway. There's not many retailers. I actually bought this camera. I bought this one on Amazon. Yeah, I think I bought that one on Amazon. I bought like the whole kit with the chest camera attachment, the helmet camera, extra batteries, the little floaty stick in the case. The GoPro camera is already waterproof apparently, but then you have like the clear plastic case that you can put on them too, and there's tons of accessories, right? And I bought it for like 800 bucks, and I used pretty much everything in the pack. Some extra like the finger mounts, right? Because the GoPros, it's like there's these two tabs that hang down from the camera, and they got holes in them, and then it's like fingers, and then you got to put them in the fingers like this, and then you got to take the whatever, and you got to screw it in. You got to tighten it that way, right? Yeah, they just gave all these parts in the kit, and I'm very happy with the kit and everything. And the camera, it's given me a little bit of problems here and there, but overall, when it comes down to it, the picture is good. When it gets too cold out, if it's like below freezing temperatures, after it's sitting outside for a while, sometimes it'll freeze, or sometimes you'll get like, I guess, static or whatever, so the color turns like green for the most part, and all the colors kind of, there's only like a few colors. It doesn't have the wide color range, and you could see like kind of lines in the screen. You could see them like kind of flickering and everything, and then you don't get good footage, and that really hurts when I'm in the wood yard. It's getting dark early in the evenings, and I'm there filming, and it's sometimes, well, most of the time, the only thing with the GoPro camera is the brightness is already down, so I always have to improve the brightness like about 20% with the footage, unless like it's nice and bright out. And but then when it starts getting a little shady in the wood yard, and it could be in the middle of the day too, but if it's a little shady and stuff, I might have to brighten up the footage a bit, right? So I do that probably 95% of the time anyway. But yeah, so when I'm filming in the wood yard and I got my lights on in there, then I still have to improve the brightness because it's nighttime. But then, if it starts to go shoddy, well, you don't even want to look at it if it's like you've only got a few colors instead of the wide spectrum of colors, right? So when I did actually talk to a couple of people, greetings from Perry Sound. Who's this? National Jones. Nice to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in, new viewer. Are you new or have you been here before? I've never seen you before. If my memory was all right, then I would remember for sure if you came in here or not. But anyways, Perry Sound is Perry Sound considered Muskoka? Because with my viewers, I'm always talking about Muskoka and going up there. I do my tree ID videos there in the fall with the fall colors. And I basically go up to as far as Huntsville. And yeah, Perry Sound is just a little bit past Huntsville, guys. So Perry Sound from where I am, that's about, I'd say about maybe 2.5 hours. Because Huntsville, which is kind of the top end of Muskoka, that's 2 hours from where I am. And I'm like east of central Toronto, basically, right? Living the dream. Thanks for stopping in. Y'all have a great new year. I hope you get the dollars rolling again. Yeah, well, they're coming in now, but no more virality, right? So let's see if we get that money coming in anyway. But yeah, okay. National Jones says, yeah, pretty new. I like your videos. Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't have the best content. I think the standard in the firewood industry here is you have the best machines and you do the best production, and you got the big wood yard and you got this and that and you got the tractor. I think that's kind of like the standard now. A lot of people have been upping their game with their with what they have and what they offer. And yeah, I'm just not like a big firewood operation. I would like to be, but the thing is, my other work is easier, so I try to concentrate on the other work, and I don't do much with the firewood. Even I'm not running my homemade splitter that much, especially like this year or this fall. I haven't been running my homemade splitter that much, and I just haven't needed it because I haven't had the proper wood that needs to go through it, right? Like I said, I've had a lot of craggy wood, a lot of boiler wood this year, and I need like the nice straight wood. And I've been saving the smaller diameter to, well, I've been not saving it, but I've been splitting the smaller diameter with the Spico single wedge splitter because they're not very big. And then the big diameter, I was putting that aside for when James Bainton comes by, right? Which never happened. So I've actually split some of that wood too. But yeah, I haven't been making the videos good with my homemade log splitter. I feel like I got a small wood yard. You know, it's nice to have when you can film here in this part of the yard and over there in that part of the yard, which is what I did in my other wood yard, right? You know, I had that wood yard full, I had it empty, and I was always doing something different in some different area there, you know? And I feel like I was making better videos then, and now like my content is kind of monotonous with the just using the Spico wood splitter, and I've been doing a lot of smoker wood, so there's even a lot of content that I'm not filming because it's just kind of monotonous, same old stuff, you know, like taking the wood and taking around and cutting every 4 inches and then taking out the axe and chopping them into chunks and then bagging them up. Like, I've been doing so much of that, so I haven't been filming it, you know. But I did actually do a lot of wood this fall. I didn't really start stacking for next, or start storing a lot of wood for next year until like the latter half of like the warmer weather. But I still got a lot of wood done. I have about maybe 20 crates filled right now, and which is only about 6 cords or whatever, and yeah, maybe 23 or something like that. Some is stacked in there, some is not stacked, and I did get a lot done, and with the short amount of time that I've been in the wood yard, because I'm only in the wood yard splitting like maybe 3 days a week. Sometimes at most, if I'm lucky, I get like 4 days in there. But I have been doing a lot where I've been going like every day and stuff like that, and splitting a lot of wood, you know. And just trying to get up on next year's stash. As much as I like doing my scrap business and all the other stuff, which has actually been good this year. Unfortunately, a lot of the money's been going to the trucks, but I have been doing a lot of my other work, which is really good. And even right up till Christmas, you know, the money was coming in, right? And like I said, still put a lot of time into doing the wood this fall, you know. But with the GoPro camera, so we have the Boxing Day sale on till next week. So next week I'm gonna pick up the another GoPro Hero 10, and I got my new boots in. Oh, let me get my boots. I'll show you. You guys know my boots anyway, but I got the fresh set. I had to get some work pants repaired. The zipper busted, and they're Dickies work pants, and they're the best work pants I ever bought because they just won't fail. And when they get holes in them, the holes don't grow bigger, and they just keep lasting. Some of them I have holes in the pockets from, you know, all the stuff being in my pockets, and I just don't put my coins in there. It's fine to keep my wallet and everything. Here's my new boots. Same boots I get every year, and you know what? I didn't check if these are the composites. Are these actual steel toe, or are they the plastic or whatever? Now, I start 1 year. I bought the composites because I thought, you know, the boots are going to be lighter, and I really don't care about these boots being heavy because I'm just so used to them, right? So I bought the composites, and I was like, oh yeah, these are lighter now, this is better, right? But what I started to notice was the boots were actually falling apart a lot faster. And I get almost 1.5 years with these boots, and so I was pretty upset that I'm not getting my money's worth because those boots are falling apart, right? Let's see. External Met Guard, Tarantula Anti-Slip Quad, Comfort, Fresh Tech, T-Max Insulation Isolation. I believe these are the real steel toe because they do not say composite. So good, I don't have to take them back to the store. Anyways, these are Dakota boots, and this is what I do too. So I buy a set every Boxing Day, provided if I need them. But basically, the boots last me about almost 1.5 years, and the return policy is that you can return the boots in 100 days. So I bought them Monday. So basically by the end of March, then I'm gonna, like the boots that I'm currently wearing, I'm gonna take those back and claim those as a warranty claim. And then they're gonna give me a fresh set of boots, right? So I'll start wearing these boots come the end of March. And then I'm also gonna have another set of boots. So then basically I have like another 3 years of boots, right? So then next Boxing Day I won't have to buy boots. Now, and yeah, hopefully no, then the year after that I'll have to buy another set of boots, because then when I run out the boots that I'm wearing at the time, I'll have to take those in. So I won't have to buy boots for 2 years now, right? But basically I should have been in that position now. But what happened was I took my box, I had the 2 shoe boxes here, and I took one to the shop to use for fire starter. Unfortunately, I took the one box that had the receipt for last year's purchase in it, right? So I didn't get my free boots this year, but now I'm back in the good space where, and that receipt I have, I'm making sure that I'm not getting rid of that receipt like I did last time. I'm pretty sure that's what happened to the receipt, because it was like only a couple of days after I got the boots that I lost the receipt, and it was like, it can't be anywhere else, you know what I mean? I know I brought it home, I was pretty sure I put it in the box, but I just threw out the wrong box, right? Or brought the wrong box to the store, and then I went to throw out the other box that was here, and I opened it and there was no receipts. I started looking everywhere for the receipt. Even my work receipt box, couldn't find it, you know? So much for that. Len's keeping busy says, I buy Dakota, but not those ones. Yeah, so I can't even speak on the quality of the other boots, you know, but I mean, it's bad to say that if you have the same boot and they have the composite and they're falling apart, but then the other one doesn't. That kind of stands out. That kind of says that these ones are maybe a cut above the other ones, you know what I mean? Let me show you guys my hiking boots too, because I buy these amazing hiking boots that last forever. And you know what? I'm bringing 3 pairs of boots. Okay, 3 pairs of boots, all the same. Here's the story. So these are my originals. This is when I started on these. These are called Morels. As you can see, I got a little damage here. I did have these glued before, but otherwise, these boots are intact, guys. What's wrong with them? Nothing. You could still wear these boots, and maybe I should have just got them repaired, because the thing is, when I bought new boots, it's like, okay, they look so new that I don't want to. Oh no, I'm seeing there's a problem here. But I was like, oh, these boots are so new, like, where am I going to be wearing them out in the mud and stuff like that, you know? So I didn't want to wear them, and I would have been happy to get these repaired, but they just look a little too bad, so I just went and I bought another pair of boots. Now, it's hard for me to find shoes and boots and stuff like that, so I said, let me try and look for, and I remember I talked about these in another live stream earlier too. So I said, okay, let me try and find these same boots. Maybe somebody has them used. So I found somebody who actually had the same boots and the same size. So I went to meet the guy. The guy was only like 15 minutes from here. So I went to get that set. And here they are. Look how new they look, right? Any problems? Well, you wouldn't think you have problems, but then what happened? Had a problem with them. So first, they started to tear here. So I said, okay, you know what? I'll just go and I'll get them repaired, right? And these boots are expensive now. They're charging like almost $200 for these boots, right? I can't remember how much I paid for these, but I think I bought them for 80. So first this happened, and I went and got them glued. Okay, no problem. But then this problem happened here, and it's really bad. It's not even, you can't even really repair it because it's probably going to crack in other places. What I found out later was that these shoes probably sat in the shoebox, and that's what happens with people, is their shoes, they sit in the shoebox, and that's why they'll have a problem with them. But these basically, I mean, like, look at this one. This one, it looks like brand new, you know what I mean? So then, back in the spring, I said, okay, it's time to get a new set because those were falling through, and I didn't want to have any shoes that looked like they were falling apart, so I got another set, and they were on sale, and I think they were 165 bucks. We got a lot of sales tax here. We got like 13% sales tax, and it was like 30% off or something, right? But guys, these first ones I bought, let me tell you why I keep buying these boots. I bought these boots in like 2011, and these are my outdoor boots that I would wear going up to the lake, going fishing and out in the boat. I don't really do hiking, but I find myself in the woods here and there doing hikes and whatnot, exploring places. I'm not really about the journey, I'm about the destination kind of thing, you know what I mean? So I've been to a lot of sites where I'm walking through trails with these. I would wear them if I'm just going to the store or something, or going to hang out at a friend's house and stuff like that. And I don't wear my non-work clothes very much at all, because I'm always in my construction boots, all day, every day. Even on Saturdays I work, Sundays if I have to. Not so much anymore, but I wouldn't wear any of my other clothes or shoes or boots. But these would be like my go-to if I was just like, like I said, going to the store, going on errands, going out this and that. All the other shoes I have is if I need to wear nicer shoes for a nicer occasion. But imagine that, like those boots, they lasted me like 10 years, man, and I didn't have problems with them until like the last, till like the 9th or 10th year. So this excellent purchase for the price. I did get them a lot cheaper way back then, but I mean, if I wanted to, like, I could still wear these right now. Like, yeah, this doesn't look so good here. If they're serving a purpose, you don't want water to get in, so this would be a problem here, But these boots, man, they're still wearable. Anyways, let's go through the chats here. Yeah, boot fashion show, Yeah, I like dressing up. I like wearing nice clothes and stuff like that. I'm not really a shoe person at all, man. Um, yeah, I'm not flashy, guys. Like I can dress up good with like cheap clothes and stuff like that. Um, I like ironing clothes, putting on nice slacks, nice shirts, a suit, whatever. I like doing all that stuff. But yeah, I just don't spend crazy money on clothes, man. It's a waste of time, and what I found I like doing is I like buying like two of the same thing, because sometimes something gets a stain on it, something tears or whatever, then you have it again, right? And you don't have to go searching for clothes again, because I can never find clothes that I like. I've been buying a lot of work shirts this year. Actually, I just bought one from Costco. I'll show you. I got this one. I actually gotta buy more t-shirts, because I don't have enough t-shirts. They always get these little holes, sometimes from the grinder cutting disc and stuff like that. I get holes in them, so I'm going through t-shirts a lot, but I always get like dark blue or green, and I don't like to wear anything light colored because you get the stains on them and stuff like that. Like, I get dirty at work, guys, like not with the firewood, but with the scrap metal and stuff. Sometimes you get so dirty, like you go and you take a shower, it's like black shower water, but the blacker the shower water means like the fatter the paycheck, right? So yeah, I just try to keep the shirts dark. I don't really like too many different colors. This shirt that I'm wearing now, I do like this color. Isn't this? Yeah, this is an Eddie Bauer, guys. And I love my Eddie Bauer. I got shirts, like nice button-down shirts and stuff that I bought like, whew, 20 years ago, man. I still got them in my closet. I hardly ever wear those things because, like I said, I'm in my work clothes most of the time. But if I'm wearing a nice button-down shirt or something, like I'm not going out for, or that's once in a while. I'm not going out that much where even that gets like worn regularly compared to all my other clothes anyway. But yeah, it's good quality stuff, man. Somebody was saying like, oh yeah, Eddie Bauer's, just yesterday one of my friends said, oh, Eddie Bauer's so good that like they even make car interior and stuff like that, right? And that reminded me, because I used to do a lot of road trips to the US. And first we always had like big cars to go down there so they could hold all the suitcases in the trunk and everything. But then we got a brand new 1990 Ford Aerostar Eddie Bauer edition. So that's like, it's like the long one. But the key with those things is the seats. It's two bench seats, and they both fold down flat into a bed, right? It's not like they have, one side folds down, the other folds down. No, it's just two big benches, and the whole backrest just folds down. Same with the other one, and then you have like a full-fledged bed in there. So they were like good for the road trips back then. You know what I mean? James Bain says I buy the Dakota 7-in-1 jacket. Lost my last one, but they normally last 2-3 years. Yeah, jackets is another problem for me, guys. So the same place where I get my boots, it's like it's basically like workwear and outdoor wear. Actually, there's some history on that store. It used to be called Mark's Work Warehouse, and it was like way back in the day, like in the 80s. And then it kind of like went off the radar or whatever, and then they came back, and it's like owned by like the parent company, Canadian Tire, which is like kind of like a big hardware store. You can get your seasonal stuff, your kitchenwares, you can get your sporting goods. They have like the auto mechanic shop on the side, right, where you can get your tires, you can get repairs done and stuff. But they bought Marks, I think they shortened the name to Marks, and then now you can get all this like gear there. But it has like a lot of like brand name stuff, so it's like a lot of expensive stuff, right? It's like, okay, I want to go and buy some work clothes, or I want to be warm when I grow up. It's like, ooh, Helly Hansen, like these underpants for keeping warm, say like flannel underpants are like overpriced. Like all these things are overpriced there, man. But anyways, I would get the Carhartt jackets from there, and then the Carhartt jackets, they just tear apart, man. Like I'm not necessarily dealing with objects that are too sharp all the time. But you know what? How about I have a beer, man? I'm starting to get parched, so I'll start with some water. Oh, I don't have any cold beer here. Because I took the beers to my friend's place. I took 6 there last night. I left like 3 there because we didn't even go back upstairs. But yeah, I don't even have any cold beer. Hang on, let me go check, man. I don't think I do at all. Yeah, it's a little late to be getting into the gin and tonics because I gotta finish up this video I've been editing, and I gotta get up in the morning and I gotta go see my little daughter. Oh, you know what? I didn't do the Christmas shorts with her, and actually sings Last Christmas. I forgot to do that this year, but I just been so busy this year anyway, man. And actually, we're hanging out a lot this Christmas, and we made a gingerbread house. And what I got her, it's like some Barbie makeup stuff, and I'm telling her not to like think too much about the makeup when she gets older, you know what I mean? But and then some other thing, it's like some little doll in this package. She knows more about it than me, but it was a small thing, she wanted it. And so I told her I'd get a second gift, and I got her a thing on maple syrup too, right? But yeah, I've been hanging out with her a lot. We went down to Ripley's Aquarium again, and then we went to the Eaton Center, which is that same mall that I was telling you about, down like the main intersection downtown. Took her to see the big Christmas tree, and the Christmas tree's like, I don't know, like 30 feet tall or something like that, right? So it gave her that mall experience, you know what I mean? We went to Bass Pro Shops, and we took her to see to see Santa Claus. We didn't go like have her walk in and go into whatever because we were short on time. And there's a bit of a lineup there all the time, right? Yeah, doing lots of stuff with doing lots of stuff with her and giving her the Christmas spirit, you know what I mean? She had fun at my parents' place for Christmas breakfast, and then I took her over to my friend's house because she was asking me to hang out with my friend's daughter. My friend's daughter's name is Daphne. It's a pretty rare name. It's actually my grandmother's name too, so kind of interesting, you know what I mean? Noel's taking off. Good night, Noel. Thanks for coming in. Guys, I did actually put beers in the freezer, so who knows, if I'm going more than like half an hour, maybe I'll go and have a beer or two before I get off of here. I did kind of start late. I started, what, 8:15 or something like that? 8:20? Noel says, "Who would have thought I'd be watching YouTube shoe boot show on Saturday night?" Yeah, well, the gear is very important. That's the thing, man. You know, I actually bought these gloves the other day, and they're like those gloves that everybody knows that have the um, rubber palms, and then some of the rubbers over the fingertips, right? I actually got these ones the other day that were very insulated, and that's a dollar store that I don't normally drive to, so I'm actually gonna go back and pick some of those up because those are good for the winter, man. 'Cause my hands, they get cold, guys, really cold, man. But yeah, no, the jackets, the Carhartt jackets, they're crap. They don't last, so I don't buy those anymore. I have a jacket that someone gave to my mom to give to me, and I use that, and it's pretty good. It's pretty durable. It seems like it doesn't tear and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I can't complain about that jacket at all, in terms of it being in use. And sometimes you'll see me with like just a sweater, and because it's been like warmer, I've been wearing. I'll have like a long sleeve shirt, like a t-shirt but with long sleeves. Then I'll have like a thicker one, or another long sleeve shirt with thicker material, and then I'll have the hoodie over top of that, right? And that's good enough. And what I've been noticing this year when I have on those kind of layers, it's like uncomfortable to me, and my elbows were like the inner elbows, like right here, was like sweating on both my underneath both my sleeves, right? It was actually more uncomfortable. Like I've seen it happen before, but it was like really uncomfortable, man. And yeah, I'd rather have like a proper jacket, wear the right clothing instead of having all those layers because it just feels funny. It's uncomfortable. It's all tight on you and everything. You know what I mean? I'd rather have like not loose, but something that fits really nicely, but is not too airy, so that you get a lot of air going through it. You get the cold air in. You know, something that is just comfortable underneath, and then you have a nice jacket that keeps the wind out. It's got enough insulation, and it's got some ventilation so that you don't get too warm. Because my problem with working outside and stuff like that, or just naturally, like I get too warm, man. So even like, you know, to say, let's say it's one of those really cold days of the year, I can dress like nice and warm. But the thing is, if I start working, then I get really hot really quick, man. Yeah, Noel says no cold beer. Yeah, I know, eh? Well, I had my beers last night, man. So, um, yeah, that's all good, man. Had like, I guess, yeah, I had another three when we went out. And, why am I getting notifications? I got my phone on Do Not Disturb. But anyways, yeah, I had fun night out last night. First we went, there was like a live band, and they were playing a bunch of blues and rock and roll and stuff. It was just around like where my friend lives, and there's a bit of a trendy area around there. And then he said there's like another place where we could go and eat. And it was like a Filipino karaoke bar, and yeah, we ordered the barbecue chicken and the rice, and it was so good. I ordered like another portion, and then I was like, yo, we should just order a platter of this stuff, man. Like it was so good, guys. They had like a little like vinegar dip to it, and you dip the chicken in the vinegar, and it was really good, man. There was no veggies or anything. It was just the rice, and the rice was have a little garlic, maybe a little soy sauce. It was just very simple. They just brought a skewer, and they packed the rice into like a bowl or whatever, and then they just slap the bowl on to your plate, take it off, so you have like the form of the bowl, right? But it was really good, man. You know. Yeah, Noel says he's gonna ask about my daughter. Yeah, she's 6 last month, or sorry, November. Yeah, last month in November, and she's doing well in school. She's the tallest kid in the class, and she's gonna be advancing through school because she's so smart, you know. But yeah, I just teach her a lot about the world and how things work and stuff like that, right? And she's curious too. Some stuff she doesn't care about, but yeah, man. The other day I was showing her like how a car engine works because I talked to her about cars and stuff like that, and yeah, because she knows about like when you go fill up gas. But I'm like, well, yeah, this is what happens with the gas when you're doing when you're when the vehicle's operating, right? This is how it goes, right? Through I showed like the gas going through the system, with the animation, the cylinders firing, and then showing her like tailpipes at the end of the vehicle. That's where the exhaust comes out in smoke, and then where the air comes in. Just the principle about that. I mean, she's a girl, but you know, she listens, and she was asking me questions. Because I showed her the internal workings, and she said, "Show me what it looks like on the outside," right? And I popped the hood on my truck before to show her, you know. And yeah, she was kind of curious about that, right? I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with her tomorrow. What are we gonna do tomorrow, man? Because it's Sunday. Some stuff will be open. Some stuff will be open late. That's the thing. So generally, like if anything's open here, there's obviously certain places that are open like early, but like in terms of the stores, the mall, and everything, that's only like 11 o'clock. You know, I'm gonna go get her at like 9 o'clock. But I do have to go sell some wood tomorrow. What I do is, because I got to go pick her up in, she's just northwest of the city, and just a like few exits, not even like off the highway that's at the edge of the city. And what I do with my smoker wood advertisements is I advertise that I'm out there on Sunday. So if anybody's in the west end of Toronto, or if they're in Mississauga, which is the city beside us in the west end there, then if they're in those areas, I can just meet them on that highway that's on the border of Toronto and Mississauga, right? So I wonder how much business I've got out there. Not much over the years, probably like only like maybe $500-600 or whatever, maybe a little bit more, but that extra helps, you know what I mean? Problem now overall is people are buying smoker wood because they can't afford meat here, and we live in one of the most expensive places in the world, right? So it's probably not one of the most expensive, but it's up there, guys. Like it beats the U.S. like by a mile in most places, except for like maybe California and New York. You know what I mean? Florida too, right? But yeah, it's too expensive here, man. So I've watched the pre or the post 2020, let's say even post 2021, the slump in the well, no, even 2020 and on, because a lot of people, you know, the money wasn't going around and stuff like that, so a lot of people slowed down with the smoker wood then. But even after, like with the inflation, that really killed like the smoker wood sales, you know. National Jones says usually we would have 5 feet of snow here by now, but it's late this year. Yeah, so like I said, guys, he's up in Parry Sound, which is about 2.5 hours north of Toronto, pretty much directly north too. And yeah, there hasn't been much snow up there, man. When I went to pick up my daughter the other day, there was a little bit of snow on the ground, but there was just like patches here and there. And then that was before the warm weather came in. But a lot of people who are going to be watching this channel, they're from like the Midwest, and there's regions that are more north of me, guys, like Wisconsin and stuff like that, North Dakota, basically all those northwestern states and north central states. They're at a higher latitude than I am here. Like for example, Eau Claire, Wisconsin is, let's say, a little below where the Parry Sound latitude is, right? So he's about, like, if Parry Sound was north of was lined up with Eau Claire, it'd be about half an hour north, right? Kalkaska is about the same as Eau Claire in latitude. Kalkaska, Michigan, and like Traverse City, and what else? I believe where Chris in the Woodyard is in Appleton, Wisconsin, that's up there too. So there's not too many people in the firewood world who are like north of like my latitude, right? A lot of people are south of me. That's the thing, you know. Like if you're like Indiana, if you're in Ohio, if you're in Pennsylvania, if you're in Illinois, and just everything in that line, and below, like, yeah, you guys are all south of me, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of people are surprised to know that there's actually a lot of the U.S. that's actually further north in parts of Canada, and mainly Ontario, because Ontario is like the furthest south that the country is, and the bottom end of Ontario is in line with Northern California, right? And that's, I know that's kind of hard to believe, but when you look at the latitudes, like almost the same, you know what I mean? And that's like basically where Windsor is. There's like a piece of Ontario that goes like this, and Windsor's kind of on the north end of that tip. So then the actually south of Windsor is the very southern point of Ontario, and then even there's I guess is it Point Pelee that goes out into Lake Erie. That's basically like the most southern point. So it's not even like that, just the mainland stretch there, like around Windsor. It's like you actually have that point, and I guess I think a couple islands south of the Lake Erie shoreline, along with Point Pelee. That's all like the furthest south parts of Ontario. So basically, when you're out on the water in Lake Erie, that's like the furthest you can go south in Canada, right? And yeah, so we haven't had much snow. We had a number of days where you could see snow blowing, and I was up north. I was up on Georgian Bay, and we actually had a snow squall come in, right? There was 1 or 2 nights where we had some snow covering here, and it kind of lasted for a bit because we had a little bit of cold weather where it was like the high temperature was like just below freezing for a couple days, whatever. So we did have a little bit of the snow sticking around, but just overall in general, not really. And then we haven't had any real blanketing snow cover to begin with anyway, right? Dylan Dupuis, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. I'm in New York, and only a crazy man would think of moving here to escape the cost of living. Yeah, so I guess you mean New York City, right? Not just New York State. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing about it all the time. I don't have the familiarity like I used to, because I used to go to the States every year. We used to go to New York City, stay in Queens, Long Island, whatnot. And I mean, I'm sure it was expensive then, but we're talking the 90s then. But I mean, we've all heard how New York's been so expensive. Obviously, it's going to be because it's a top class city, like to begin with, but obviously post 2020, I'm sure it's insane now. But what's happening is a lot of these places, the modern liberal cities, not modern, I shouldn't say use the word modern, but the liberal big cities and stuff, people are moving out of them. Like, guys, for Vancouver and the West Coast, I just saw an article that I think 74,000 people have moved out of Vancouver or more, and they're moving to like Alberta, and then other people are moving from across Canada, and they're moving to Alberta, right? But here's the problem, man. Alberta's had a lot of problems with their economy, guys, and you could see that, both in the U.S. and Canada, having these drawbacks with the whole gas industry, right? And I've been watching Canada not have money, or sorry, not have continuity with the whole oil production, right? Like, what happened here was this huge thing with Fort McMurray, which is like northern Alberta. It's like at the top end of close to the top end of Alberta, right? And so it's far away from civilization, right? Because most people in Canada, they live like near the southern border of the U.S., right? Because it's just too cold. Like, you don't want to be out in some of those places. But not only that, they're pretty remote too, guys. And some places they're a little too rugged to like for anybody to live. But it's like there's kind of no point of like people just being out like in the wilderness like that in any type of like significant capacity. Is there the odd town here and there? Yes, there is, but they're very small towns. We don't have just cities that blanket all over the place and connect to each other. Like, say, like for example, like the Eastern Seaboard, and you have like New Jersey, and then you have New York City, and you have Boston, and then all these places, and the trees are cleared, and just cities and residential areas and all this stuff. Like, it's not like that here. It's only like that around the shores of the Great Lakes. But even when you go, that's the southern shores of or the northern shores of, say, Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, and then you go to the shores of like Georgian Bay, like Lake Huron and stuff like that. Like, it is populated somewhat, and there's a lot of tourist place kind of thing, but it's more like the northern half of like Lake Huron. There's not much there. It's just the Trans-Canada Highway going around the Great Lakes, and there's like a couple like bigger towns kind of thing, small cities along the way, but generally it's just small towns like all across, right? But anyways, in Alberta, you've got Calgary and you've got Edmonton, and those are the only two big cities there. And then Fort McMurray is like 4 hours north of I think even Edmonton, right? And Edmonton's 2 hours north of Calgary. So it's way up there, and we had this huge thing with the tar sands, and they were getting the oil, the oil and gas out of the tar sands, right? It took a lot of refinement, but they were doing it, and everybody is moving up there, and everybody's getting crazy jobs that paid really well, and it was just this huge thing for Canada. You know, it was like a new boom for oil and gas, but at the same time, I watched the struggle there, and even when that news was big, I was seeing a lot of uh, financial setbacks in those areas, right? And I was even like given the opportunity to move out there, and I said, no, I'm not going to move out there because I'm watching people that I know there lose their jobs and stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, Calgary is really nice. Edmonton, 2 hours north, is colder, right? But Calgary's cold already. So if you guys don't like anything where you are, like even Calgary's like colder than Wisconsin, North Dakota and stuff. Maybe it's comparable to like North Dakota and I guess some of Oregon too. But then when you start getting towards the western states, you know, it's you got some warmer climate there, right? I'd say if you're west of the Rockies, then you know it's a lot warmer. And it's when you get into the central northern United States, it's going to be really cold. But just think, like Calgary's even further north than like you know the top end of North Dakota and you know Wisconsin and all those places and stuff right like that, right? And Upper Peninsula, you know. But yeah, Calgary, it does have some warm spells called Chinooks, and it gets really warm, you know, for some time being. But generally, it's pretty cold there, guys, and it's the shortest like summer season there too. So the winter's longer. Like they get big snowstorms in like you know early October. It's not unheard of. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a bit distant from the Rockies, but you can see the Rockies from Calgary, and Calgary's in a river valley there. And where I used to stay is in the east end, just outside of town. And as you drive towards Calgary going westbound, you'd see the Rockies, like you're driving like this, and from left to right, you just see the whole Rockies along the whole skyline, you know what I mean? And then you could see the buildings of Calgary, and because you're in a little bit higher elevation, and Calgary's in a river valley, you'll see like the tops of the downtown buildings as you're getting towards Calgary until finally you get like into the lower elevation and you can see the general scope of the city and whatnot, right? And it's not a big city, and they got really nice suburbs with really nice neighborhoods, a lot of modern homes and stuff like that. But out there too, it's like the territory. It's just ending from like where the farmland is, and it's going into the buttes or like the rolling hills that like start before the Rockies. So that's kind of the terrain there. And sometimes if you're driving in the evening and you could see these neighborhoods on these big rolling like plateaus, and you could just see all the lights on the streets and lights of the houses, and you just see a neighborhood here, a neighborhood there, and cul-de-sac here, and it just looks really nice, you know what I mean? And then you got the Rockies as a backdrop. And then if you leave west of town, another half an hour west of Calgary, then you start getting into the Rockies, and then all of a sudden they're just up beside you, you know what I mean, way up there, right? But really beautiful if you like that kind of mountainous area. Not quite the same as Colorado though. I mean, some spots it might look kind of like that, but still the geography is a little bit different, right? Um, but yeah, there's a lot of people moving out of Vancouver and going there. A lot of people from Toronto, they're leaving Toronto too. A lot of people have went up north here, especially if you get a job out of town. Um, let's go to the chats here. I missed a bunch. Donald Slate, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. I saw that, but I didn't really register. And Robert Blacksmith is here. Thanks for stopping in. Another Canadian. We've got so many Canadians here, man. Got some tractor enthusiasts here. At Thanksgiving time. Now that would be American Thanksgiving, because our Thanksgiving in Canada, just for your information, is the second Monday in October, something like that. So ours was like on the 9th or the 9th or the 10th, I think it was. But yeah, in the U.S., your Thanksgiving's towards the end of November, and our Thanksgiving's not as big as yours, and our Christmas is bigger than your Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, Thanksgiving time, Pulaski. Where is Pulaski? I don't even know where that is. Is that New York State? Because you're talking about Syracuse here, so I'm guessing it's in New York State. I remember driving through Syracuse all the time, going down to New York City. I live in Syracuse. We had a total of 3 to 4 inches. Only 30. Oh, okay. You're saying basically where Pulaski is, only 35 miles away. Someone else was saying, who else mentioned something about people not being able to do? I think they said snowmobilers not being able to get out or whatever. But no, what's closer to home to me is the ice fishing charter businesses. They're not doing the ice fishing now, guys, and because Lake Simcoe is, you know what? Let me look up. Yeah, there's got to be no ice, man. There really has to be no ice in the whole Kawartha Lakes. Kawartha Lakes is starting from an hour northeast of here, and there are a bunch of shallow lakes. They've got a little bit of current flow, so that's gonna help to stop the ice from freezing. But the fact that the lakes are shallow, that means that you're gonna have the freezing's gonna be earlier. But it just hasn't been cold enough for those lakes to freeze, man. It's as shallow as they are, but a lot of those lakes are big. That's the thing, man. So it might be shallow, and it might be some of them are really shallow. But the thing is, um, yeah, they're some of them are just big, man. CMISS, um, what's the term? Modus imagery. Guys, if you want satellite views to look at the terrain of Earth, look up Modus imagery and you'll get satellite imagery, and you can see they have one channel has 3 daily updates of satellite views of the continent, and then one has one daily. So let's see what it says here, and let's see what lakes are frozen in Ontario and what lakes are not frozen. Okay, here we go. Oh, is this one in Wisconsin? Yeah, so yeah, if you look up Modus today, it says wisc.edu. So I believe this is out of Wisconsin. And then the other one is the NOAA site, and you can see that one does daily. This one here, no, this one is daily, and then the other site has 3 times a day. But the problem this time of year too is that you always have cloud cover, right? So you won't be able to see every day. You know what I mean? I see Lake Michigan there. That's popping out of the clouds, and that's all right. This one, Modus today. Yeah, if you type in CMISS, Modus imagery, then you're going to get Modus today. And I am seeing some ice here on some lakes here. Am I just taking some time to load up here, or what's going on here? I think I got to pick the right area. True car, 250 miles. Okay. I'm just waiting for it to load. I see there's some lakes that are open here, but it's more like the really smaller lakes open, and it's more cloud cover here. But yeah, so okay, so yeah, now I'm seeing, is that Lake Erie or Lake Ontario? Let me just go over here. Oh no, that's Lake Superior. Okay. Yeah, no, I think I gotta pick which map. Or is this the right one? What borderline is that? Okay. No, I think I gotta go to the next map. I think I'm seeing too far west here. Yeah, because that's like the Detroit River and stuff like that. That's the U.S. border right there. So I gotta look for what's more east of here. Um, yeah, I gotta go back to the main page here, and I gotta find the right section to look at so that I can see my area. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, yeah, basically the eastern seaboard. And if I zoom in from 2,000 miles away to 250 miles away, then I get a close-up picture. And it's all cloud cover. I'm gonna have to go check the days before, but see, remember guys, it's been all like rainy, man. So it's just been cloud cover for like the last week. So it doesn't even matter like to watch or to look out for before that, or during that last week anyway. And where is this? Because all I can see is cloud cover and I see like border lines, right? So I can't even tell like what's what. Okay, I think that's no, I think that's like the eastern coast of the U.S. I gotta look for the Canadian-U.S. border here. I wish I could show you guys what I'm looking at here. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm in the right spot here, but yeah, I can't see anything. So I'm gonna have to go to the previous days. That's what I have to do. But yeah, when I used to go ice fishing a lot, then I would look up this map to see the progression of the ice. And half an hour from me is where I would go, half an hour north to Lake Simcoe, I would go. And it's a giant lake. It's bigger than the city of Toronto, and it takes a while to freeze because it's so big. But you can have parts of the lake freeze. There's one, there's a couple big bays, and then there's a lake that's on top of Lake Simcoe called Lake Couchiching. And it's a big lake too, but it's a lot shallower. It's about 30 feet deep at most. And that freezes up quick because it's a little further north, it's a little smaller, and it yeah, it's just not as deep as Lake Simcoe. And Lake Simcoe has one spot kind of on the west side off of the main lake where it's 115 feet deep. So the central basin of the lake, the big open area, is not it's not as deep there. It's only about 100 feet there or something like that. Okay, previous day. I think I just have to skip this and go like the week before. Because like I said, it's been raining for like the whole week. Sometimes you go on here, it's such a whiteout that it's like the whole page is white. All you see is like the border lines, like as if you just took like a pencil and you wrote in where the borders are and whatnot. Other than this one here, I'm just seeing all white except for like one patch. Okay, let's try December. Let's just start from Christmas Day. Probably nothing, man. Those beers are gonna be ready soon. Beers have been in the freezer like 20 minutes already. Okay, let's go to the chat here while this is loading up. Plus my Wi-Fi is a tiny bit slow, so might be having an issue there. But sometimes you see one patch of the screen, it loads up. Maybe that's the problem here too. It's not that it's all white out. It's the fact that it's not loading up the full page maybe or something. But even what you can see, there's still a lot of cloud cover anyway. Okay, back to the chats. Noel, you have 11 garden tractors. Wow, that's a lot, man. I never had a tractor, but well, I did. It was kind of like a tractor. It was a loader, actually. It wasn't a tractor. Yeah, I did have a loader, guys. I should put the video up of that when I had that thing. I got to see if my friend still has it, man. So before I got like the wood yard, Well, around the same time I got the wood yard, I bought this big loader from actually right up near Lake Simcoe, and something was wrong with it. The power wasn't there or something, and then I just ended up selling the thing. It was kind of a flop with investment, but it wouldn't have been good to have that thing because I was thinking maybe I need something more that has it had a huge bucket on it, guys, like a huge one. I think the bucket was like 5 feet. And I thought like I might have to use the bucket to like be pushing firewood around and stuff like that, like pushing the pile of unsplit rounds, or I thought I was gonna put up those like cement blocks and then have areas where I have the wood up in there and be scooping up the wood in there. But no, I never did like that. But the thing is, the space was narrow, and those loaders like they don't turn around very good, right? So having totes on either side, and that loader would have been pretty tight in there. So it wasn't really a good investment, man. Guys, I did bungle some investment money that I got at that time, and I kind of diverted money to where I didn't need to. Like I bought a 40-foot shipping container and wanted to make an office with it, and I did put a partition like 1/3 in. I put a wood stove, I put a couch, I put this and that, and I didn't need to make an office in there because my shop's across the street. You know what I mean? And I had that there so that if I'm there and I want to take a break, I'll just go and go on the computer, because I could even have got internet in there and everything, right? But then turns out when I'm in the wood yard, I'm so crazy about splitting the wood and getting things done. Like I take a break for 5 minutes and I'm back splitting wood. And then if I actually wanted to have lunch, if I wanted to wash up, if I wanted to go on the computer, if I wanted to, do this and that, right? Use the washroom and everything, like I'd go to the shop and I just hang out there. So it was a waste to buy that container. And I did sell it to my landlord, and then he gave me the truck box that he has. It's like, what is that? About 20 feet, whatever. And yeah, that saved me some space in the wood yard, right? And what I was gonna do before I moved was I was actually gonna take that 20-foot truck box I was gonna put in the back of the wood yard. I just didn't like the idea of it being back there and then somebody busts in and then steals the only thing that's valuable in there, which is the one chainsaw. That's the only thing that's valuable in the whole container, right? But I didn't want to have it in the back. It still kind of was in the back to begin with, but people have come in that area and they stole stuff out of vehicles and stuff like that. Even on Davy Tree Service, they had all their trucks parked in one of the yards. Somebody came and stole all the batteries out of them, right? So I didn't like the idea of the thing being tucked away, and what I should have done is have that thing at the back of the wood yard so that I have my selling wood in that space, or some of the selling wood like in that space, so that if I want to deliver, I have as much wood as possible up at the front of the wood yard instead of the back, because I was storing wood on the sides, yes, but I was storing a lot of wood in the back just to keep it out of the way. But then what really screwed me up was that one year where I had all that wood, and then I had all that wood in there, and it blocked me from getting back to being able to back the truck up and actually sell the wood, you know what I mean? And it kind of did time out where the wood right at the back I was able to finally get in there. I had to do a lot of throwing for a distance, but I did kind of clear up the path with the unsplit wood, and I was able to back my truck into the back. But yeah, just storing the wood at the back was no good, man, you know what I mean? But originally, in the beginning, before I was doing this channel, I had like all my sawdust at the back of the wood yard. And I had this pile that was like, if I was standing, this pile was like over my head, and it was along the whole back 45 feet of the wood yard, and maybe like 12 feet out, right? So that was like lost space. And then I got two 30-yard bins from the garbage place across the tracks to drop their bins, and I loaded them up.